Soldiers, sailors, airmen and women enlist in the armed forces for many reasons, including a sense of duty, patriotism, the adventure, travel, and adrenaline. When service members are injured or wounded and can no longer perform their military duties, they quickly find themselves removed from their team, no longer serving the purpose for which they trained.
I came back from Afghanistan in 2013, and it was kind of a trial and error of finding out, after the military, what's next in life.
Motorsports offers an opportunity to regain that sense of identity within a safe, fast-paced team environment, providing a renewed sense of purpose. Like in the military, in motorsports, the goal is in accomplishing the mission, winning as a team, collectively celebrating the successes and supporting teammates through the losses. Operation Motorsport also offers virtual engagements and recovery opportunities through an iRacing league, engaging beneficiaries in a safe, competitive environment from the comfort and safety of their home. Operation Motorsport believes in the power of team, identity, and purpose.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Podium Esports coverage of the 5th round of the 4th season of the Operation eMotorsports iRacing League, powered by Recaro. Live from iRacing's virtual Virginia International Raceway in Alton, Virginia, I'm Rachel Whiteford, joined by my colleague in the booth, Jacob Hiltz. Our producer for this evening is Gary Sexton. Gary is using cameras created by the great Dougie Beard. This series is brought to you by Recaro. Whether it's on the track or iRacing, Recaro Automotive is all about making the driving safer, more comfortable and more controlled. A driving experience that you can really feel. Recaro Automotive puts people first every time. An ergonomic sitting position means a comfortable position, and with perfect seat contours, innovative features that support your body, Recaro Automotive makes driving fun. Be it on the road or the racetrack, Recaro Automotive Performance seats are more than just a set of components. They exude innovation, quality, premium materials, craftsmanship, and a genuine passion for cars. For more information, visit their website at www.recaro-automotive.com. Recaro Automotive is proud to support Operation eMotorsports iRacing. Tonight's presenting partner, of course, is Virginia International Raceway. For more information and including a list of upcoming events, visit their website at virnow.com. That is virnow.com. And stay tuned for a special interview with their Director of Marketing, Mike Rose. Don't forget you can catch us on Operation Motorsports YouTube channel on Facebook, both Podium and Operation Motorsports, and twitch.tv/opmotorsports. take a quick look at VIR itself now. This beautiful racetrack here in Alton, Virginia. Of course, this track was recently chosen by Car and Driver magazine's top 6 road courses in the nation. Virginia International Raceway is a multi-purpose road course offering professional and amateur auto and motorcycle racing, as well as a wide range of track events. Each year, VIR draws tens of thousands of spectators for some of the best road racing in the country. Its uphill S's and sharp elevation changes not only make it a fan favorite and driver favorite, but also have it established as a prominent testing facility for the automotive industry. While racing is the heart of VIR, the expansive 1,300-acre property located at the Virginia-North Carolina border is so much more. America's first true motorsport resort is an entire vacation destination with a number of on-site hotel and lodging options, with the property's rolling hills and miles of lush forest. Guests can enjoy unique amenities such as the exclusive Drivers Club, karting, off-road racing, skeet shooting, pistol and rifle ranges, a skid pad, and dining options and more. I've got to say, Jacob, the ability to go shooting and racing, that sounds like a fun time. And hiking.
It doesn't sound like something you often get to do at iRacing. Of course, still can't do the shooting part, but nonetheless, I think we're going to have a lot of fun here at this racetrack. This is a track that I'm not really familiar with. In fact, before tonight, I didn't own it on the sim. Now I do, but certainly this racetrack a lot different than what we're used to seeing with racetracks, not only around the U.S., but around the globe. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen tonight. Should be a lot of fun.
It really should be, of course. Known as often America's Green Hell, it's often got comparisons drawn to the one true Green Hell, of course, the Nürburgring. It's got that really remote, tight, twisty, long kind of feeling to the whole track. We do have 17 turns around this 3.27 mile track, which originally opened in 1957. So, huge, crazy racetrack here with lots of amazing history. And we've been here for some amazing races with the Operation Motorsport series, so I'm looking forward greatly to what we get tonight. Of course, we'll have a chance to talk to Mike in just a few moments' time from Virginia International Raceway, so we'll have a good chance to chat to him there. And of course, we'll take a moment of silence, please, to remember the sacrifice of Oak Tree Corner. I bring this up every time we come here, but that tree is no longer there in real life due to it falling over in a storm. But hopefully one day they'll bring it back, or they'll plant a new one and we'll get a new tree. But that iconic tree, that's an iconic corner, has always been one to remember. Of course, we'll run down the classes for tonight's racing here. We do have, in fact, 3. We have the pro drivers who start out front. Those are in the prototype classes, the Delaras. Now, those guys are in the blue number boards. They're either competition license holders, past or present, with IMSA, SRO, CTC, or other bodies. Now, they may also be in iRacing road license and safety rating over 3.99 or 1900 iRating. Then we have the open class, that's the red border. Those guys are serving military or veterans, not enrolled in an Operation Motorsport's program. They're a staff member or volunteer of Operation Motorsport, and other supporters. Then we have the green borders. These are the ones we care about. These are the people benefiting from the programs of Operation Motorsport. Now, they also have their costs covered by Recaro and or the USO if they are a serving military member. So the beneficiaries are the people we're here for tonight, those being helped by this wonderful cause. With just a few moments left before we hit things up here, we'll try and get that chance to chat to Mike in just a second. But out on track, we have qualifying going here, Jacob, and numbers looking reasonable right now. We're seeing some good times put down, and what I'm most excited about here is look how close John May is to towards the front here. This is good from him. This is exciting to see the Angry Marine that far forward, but I'm smelling a rat here. We have Matt Smotherman, the seasoned ringer, and we have another Smotherman who is equally as fast. I smell a rat.
Maybe not quite as fast, about 0.6 off Mason Smotherman is to Matt Smotherman, but still, top 2 looking down here in these GT3 classes. So this is, we're going to have to see how things pan out. what I think is really going to be tricky is as we get toward the end of this race, you've got the LMP2 cars, the Delaras, which are running around 10 seconds faster than everybody else in the GT cars. So you're going to run into a lot of lap traffic, especially those that are in the back of the field. You may run into some of them more than once. So the key is, we know this racetrack is tight, it's skinny, getting around those guys and not slowing yourself up too much. All right, so I think maybe we might be ready for Mike Rose here, the Director of Marketing for Virginia International Raceway, potentially standing by, as we've got about 3.5 minutes of qualifying left to go here from the virtual Virginia International Raceway.
To go racing here, folks. We've got the qualifying last couple of moments here on track, and we'll hopefully get a chance to chat to Mike Rose. He is ready for us right now. In fact, we're going to have that chance to talk to him right here before we go through our last few moments. Mike, do I get a good copy? Mike Rose, do we have you?
That's me.
Mike, thank you so much for joining us. You, of course, are the Director of Marketing for Virginia International Raceway. Welcome to the broadcast booth. Good evening. Thank you for joining us and spending some time here. I've got a couple of questions for you if you have a few moments.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, first off, describe for me your role at Virginia International Raceway and what you do for them.
I am the Director of Marketing, and basically, like most people here at VIR, we do a little bit of everything. It doesn't matter if it's Connie, who is the owner, all the way down to some of the maintenance people and others. But specifically, I work on trying to get the word out there about what VIR is, who we are, how people can take advantage of it, and try to put relationships together where we can determine how we can benefit whoever it might be. It could be a sponsor, it could be a fan. It could be a serviceman or women. It could be anybody. So those are the main things I do, and then walk around and pick up trash like everybody else.
Well, it's something everybody has to do at a racetrack, of course. And you mentioned some support there for veterans, of course, in the military community. Could you go a little bit more into depth on that for me?
Yeah, we VIR, and this starts all the way from Connie. Her father was in the military. And ever since, she has always had a true affection for the military and everything that they do and done for VIR and for every one of us. So we have every day a active military is allowed in free to VIR, and veterans are 50% off. The only possible exception is if a promoter has rented out the track and they manage all that. So that's very rare, but it might happen on occasion. Most of the sanctioning bodies and such try to honor that as best they can. But that's just kind of the simple areas. We have 7 shooting ranges, firing ranges here on property. We have a skid pad. We have an interior track that's about 1.1 mile. And we let every area service person come out, whether they're military or whether they're even police, firefighters, and anyone else like that really needs a venue to test, to try out different strategies or work on a certain skill set. We allow them to come out here for free.
That is awesome to hear some support for the blue and the red as well. There is green. But so I heard we had the SRO Patriot Car Corral event so far this year. How did that go down for you guys?
Yeah, that was really, really good. We came up with that in the relative last minute, I guess you'd say, compared to some of the other things we do traditionally. But it went very well. We were all very pleased with it. And it's what we did is we essentially allowed, again, the military could come in free or 50% off, and then we gave them a car corral, which is big in sports car racing, and it's essentially an area where they could park. And then beyond that, we allowed a second group, non-service related, to pay to park in a car corral, and then all the money, 100%, that was raised from that car corral went to support Operation Motorsports and all the wonderful things that they are doing. Then further, we involved several active and/or veterans that in our ceremonies, as well as in different types of activities during that weekend. It was really good. It was really a great way to give back, and we're going to do that again this year. But now that we've done it once, now that we have experienced it, we have a lot of better ways that we're going to work, including another big thing that we haven't released yet, but it's going to be really nice and a great way to raise some extra money and to have fun.
It certainly sounds that way. And speaking of supporting that sort of thing, you guys have got a history with Operation Motorsport. Do you want to talk to me about that for a second?
We do. I have been very blessed to know Tiffany and Diesel, and for I don't know 9+ years, I guess, however long it's been, and all of the good that they have done, as well as everyone else that's affiliated with the organization. And so we try to benefit those folks and the cause, because we recognize how great they are as far as taking care of integrating, military back into society, and that there's such a need for that. So yeah, we have worked with them for many, many years on several projects each year, and quite frankly, hope that we have the honor of working with everyone, from Operation Motorsports, for a long time to come.
That sounds absolutely fantastic, and it's amazing you guys support them so strongly. Before we let you go, any upcoming events or anything you're really excited about for Virginia International Raceway in 2022?
We've got several. Most of our schedule is back this year, but our SRO event, again, with a big assist to the Salute to Service initiative, really took a big step forward in 2021. So we're excited about that one. We're excited that our big events, Hyperfest and the Michelin GT Challenge and the Virginias for Racing Lovers Grand Prix IMSA event returns to August. And we are excited about those. The only big one that we have this year that's different, which is always great from a spectator and a club racing standpoint, are the SCCA runoffs. We host those in 2022 and 2023. So it will be a great deal of fun when 700, 800, 900 cars converge on VIR for about 10 days. It's always just such a sight to see, where there's a paddock set up all the way from the end of the north paddock back up to the bridge. So there's always a lot of fun whenever that comes to town. But we really have a lot of good things. We have a lot of good things. We've if anybody's followed some announcements that we've made, any of our fans out there, we have made some really big initiatives, taken some real good time over the winter to study and to update some of our track improvements. We have also done a few other things, and we honestly have got a couple of really, really big announcements coming up that involve the facility within hopefully the next 60, 90 days. But sorry, I can't let those out yet. But they'll be
Understandable.
Really be good for everybody who's a fan of VIR.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mike, this evening. We hope you enjoy the racing. For more information, folks, you can find a list of upcoming events, and you can purchase tickets, of course, and find out about these exciting updates that are coming and the news that Mike has for us. You'll be able to find all that on virnow.com, where you can find current listings, current tickets, and they'll release information on those exciting new upcoming things. So check them out there. Mike, thank you so much for joining us, and let's go to the racing, folks.
Thank you, Rachel, and everybody have fun tonight.
That's Mike Rose, the Director of Marketing for Virginia International Raceway. And with that, let's go to our starting grid here tonight at Virginia International Raceway. Starting out front for the prototypes, it's Chris Walsh with Dave Hines in second, Tyler Guillemette in the third spot with Dustin Burkhalter in fourth and Rodney Campbell in fifth place. Then for the beneficiaries, we have Matt Smotherman. We have, not sure where he fits in, Mason Smotherman, we believe his brother. We have Connor Parisi, we have Adam Poppenhaus and John May. They're in the top 5 or 4 there for your beneficiaries. For the open class, Thomas Utzon, Taylor Parsons, Jake Steinbrink, Taylor Reed, Bradley Beeman. We have John Winker from the beneficiaries, Tyler Beeman, Jay Gleason, and we have the 2 USO cars. Those, I believe I was told a moment ago, we have got, I think it's the same guys we had last time, which are the Knight pairing, the father and son. I'm sure I'll get someone to clarify that for me in a moment, but yes, I believe that's the father and son Knights, so we'll see if he can repeat it and beat his son again. We'll have to see that one go. Cars are getting out on track here, getting themselves rolling on the beautiful race circuit here. We'll get to see them going green in just a second's time. Jacob, any thoughts before we go green?
We'll see what happens going down to this first corner. I think we're lucky in the fact that there aren't as many LMP2 cars. There are a lot more of the GT cars, so that should provide us with a little bit of a cleaner turn one, but there's only one way to find out, and that's just to sail them off into turn number 1 and let them rip here. So we'll find out. We'll see who comes out the other side.
We certainly will, and as we come down now, this is towards Oak Tree Corner. The cars warming their tyres a little bit, getting ready for the racing action this evening. Oh boy, this is going to be an exciting one. I am very much glued to the edge of my seat here. I wish it was a Recaro seat, but it is not. Alas, it is only a desk chair. One can hope, right? Maybe I'll bolt one to a desk chair. That will be a superlative sitting position. But, God, that was cringy. I will never do that again. But, got the prototypes coming through Oak Tree right now. Hats off to the Oak Tree. No longer there, but they're in our hearts forever and ever and ever. The RS6 safety car out there getting itself going round, and we'll have to see what we can get running tonight. But of course, you can check everything out on social as usual, and we of course have, as we mentioned earlier, the Knights in the USO cars. USO Knight number 2 is Brian Knight, which is Papa Knight, and USO 1 is Branning Knight, his son. So father versus son in the USO cars again tonight. And those gorgeous liveries they have on them. Can't wait to see exactly what we get from this, but it's going to be a very, very fun rundown. Now, we do have the usual 30-minute clock on this one, so it'll be a timed event as always, and the scheduling so far has been quite exciting. Looking at our overall points, it's a pretty one-sided story for Mr. Smotherman in terms of the branches of the military. Again, pretty one-sided. Army is dominating right now over Air Force in second, Navy in third for the first time ever, Coast Guard in 4th, and the Space Force, of course, in last. The Marines are in 5th place, technically, but we all know we want to find reasons to put minus points on the Space Force, especially if I find my face in another race car. That will be definitely a reason for them to get more minus points. In fact, if I find out what branch that person's with, there'll be even more. Green flag waves, here we go. The prototype's going green, and behind them, here come the GT cars. Beneficiaries and Open are both, of course, running the GT3 cars. It'll show us one big block, but the B and the O and the red and the blue will show you the difference, or the green, I should say. There, the blue is your prototypes. Coming through the first corner, prototype's going to go clean run. Every car behind them as well. Clean racing's always been a highlight here, Jacob, of this series, and we're getting a great kick-off here for the start.
So far, so good. They make their way around through 3 and 4. They got one off, I think, somewhere back there. Yep, cutting the corner.
Tyler Reed, 75 car, just went wide. Nobody touched him. Just a little bit loose. Gets it back on track. Gets it going again. No real delays or damage for him. So, lucky moment.
Well, actually, we have more trouble behind him. It's one of the USO cars that's around, and he lost it all by his own. That's the one. So I think that's Brian. I think I have that right. He just got it off into the grass, got a little too wide, and looped it around. Oh, we got trouble. There goes a P2 into the wall.
Certainly did. I'm trying to work out who we had there. That is going to be Dustin Burkhalter, unfortunately for him. We'll try and get a replay of what happened to his car. We got one there, and that was... Oof. Didn't look fantastic, did it?
That was the replay there.
Yeah.
That was early. That was what, coming out of 5, I think? Where
Yeah, we didn't catch it, but that was
Oh.
crazy. Yeah, I thought we called that live for a second there. So no, that was pretty brutal for him.
I wonder if that was a technological or a software failure, because he comes off the corner and it's like that thing just stops turning. Like it gets a little squirrely on exit and then it just goes straight. It doesn't even try to come back to the left. So I wonder if he had a wheel disconnect or something there. That's a big hit.
Yeah, those things can definitely happen as we get the cars coming out of the final corner now. Seeing that beautiful run for the GT cars. It's front of your field, moving down with Smotherman and the rest of the crew putting in the time now. And we'll see how this one plays out, because this track is difficult, Jacob. Obviously, not being one that has driven VIR, you clearly know it well already anyway from the stroking time, spectator point of view, but this track will eat you alive. Other cars are a secondary concern almost.
Right, you've got to worry about yourself first before you can worry about racing around the other cars around you. And I think those up here at the front, I think the plan is just follow the leader and stay as close as you can. Don't try to pass them. Don't make a mistake. Just keep them in your sights, so that way in the last 5 laps you can go up and try and win this thing for yourself.
Absolutely. And as you see here from the onboard camera, from the bumper there, looking forwards towards Smotherman, that's Parisi, as you see just how up and down this track is and how twisty and tight. It's not a very wide track, there's no runoff here, and it will penalise you if you make a mistake. But you saw how just rough and ready that track is. It's such a challenge. The racing surface is great, but it's going to put every inch of that car to test. If you put a wheel wrong, you are going to get caught out. And the gap we're seeing already, this is insanity. The gap from Smotherman to Parisi is not insignificant right now. I'm actually rather impressed. That is, once again, I don't know what this guy's got under the hood, but it seems like his brother Mason appears to have some of the same. He's currently running 3rd in the GT3 cars.
Talent running in the family, maybe not completely carrying over all the way, but still enough speed to keep himself in the top 3, as he actually leads that open class since Mason has red on his race car, so he's part of the open class, that gray 89 number you see on the scoreboard. The other Smotherman in the 84, I can read. He's part of the beneficiary class. He leads that one, P5 rather overall.
Absolutely, you could say they're smothering the GT3 classes right now with the drive out. That's terrible. I apologise to everybody for that joke. But no, it had to be done with the name like Smotherman. But as it stands, we're seeing the lead drivers here. This is going to be Hines in 2nd place behind Walsh. That gap is really small right now. We could see a change for your lead in the pro class, as on the attack, Dave Hines has really found it this time. Chris Walsh is not getting the escape he likes to have with these races.
Yeah, Hines trying to, pardon the pun, catch up to the race leaders. They come around and stay within about half a second or so of Chris Walsh. But like I said, I think the focus for a good part of this race, just right around, keep him within striking distance, around that half a second gap.
You know, we just had a terrible pun already, and you had to drop a Heinz ketchup pun in there. You know what? I want to criticize you for it, but at the same time I can't, because it's great. I love that one, but no, the gap here is really small, but they also have to pay attention here to Tyler Guillemette right behind them. He is not out of this picture, and a little bit of fighting between these two will bring him right into this battle, so that is one you have to really worry about for that sort of positioning. But looking further back towards the beneficiaries here as well. Oh, we talked about him. Commentator's curse. Off goes Guillemette. Nearly guillotined himself on the tyre barrier there, but he gets it back going again with no damage. That was really a moment, but we talk about his track being risky, but as you see him come through here, he just, I think, bites maybe a little too much and goes, yep, he just slid wide there, but he kept it away from the tyres and managed to rejoin. It's a slow down, but he's definitely undamaged. He'll have some grass on those tyres for a while.
At least he's able to keep all the fenders on it, though, and I think he's just got to hope that the top 2 now are going to make a mistake so he can try and claw his way back to the back bumper of Hines and Walsh.
Very much so, as Matt Smotherman right now leading the way by whopping 4 seconds by this stage of the race. We're only 6 minutes in at this point, and he has checked out. Parisi behind him, as we mentioned, 4 seconds back, and behind him is his brother in the open class, who is going to be another second behind that. We're seeing those two right now. But behind them, Poppenhaus would be in the 3rd spot for your beneficiaries. John May in 5th or 4th, which is a high for him right now. He's had a rough start to this season, so I'd really love to see John. He fought back last race. I would love to see him pop the podium this time by to get that Angry Marine back on the beach where he belongs.
Well, he's got cars all around him. He's got a spot for position in Poppenhaus right in front of him. Then behind him, he's got a couple of open cars in Taylor Parsons and Thomas Altson. So traffic certainly all around him. He's just got to be careful to make sure that he doesn't get run over in that Mercedes.
Yeah, very much so. And it's good to see Mercedes back on track, of course. They've not been quite as strong this season. We've seen the BMWs do some good work, but the Ferraris do seem to be a solid pick for a lot of these drivers as the strong suit car. As we're going to come around here onto lap number 4 of the race so far. Just about 7.5 minutes in the books here. As behind these guys, we've got a big group of cars coming in here. And this is, of course, the likes of May, Parsons, Utzen, Steinbrink, Beeman in that grouping there. So a lot of the open drivers and also John May. So he'll have to keep himself focused on that one. The Mercedes out front in that grouping. But overall, it's been a pretty good, clean race so far. A couple of little self moments, which has been the usual fare of a track will be quite challenging. We'll see occasional mistakes. But been very clean so far, Jacob. It's not been anything too hectic for these guys.
Well, you say that. We just had a crash. Jay Gleason, this is way back there, back in 16th. Tyler Beeman and Jay Gleason made contact. I don't know if Gleason thought he was clear or what. He came over to the right, and the car was still there, and he got turned into the right side wall and then spun it all the way through the grass, basically wound up in the forest, and then came back onto the racetrack. Right in front of that thing is completely destroyed from hitting the wall, and he's off pace.
We saw that there a second ago. That was pretty gnarly. One of those just wrong place, wrong time, wrong positioning sort of moments. We've got it here, yeah. Coming down the front straight they go, and it's the King because he comes across, turns himself around the bumper. Oh, you hate to see it. And Ferraris
he thought it was clear. As the leader's going to blow right by him right now. They get through without any issue. That gotta be scary when you've got somebody that's already going to be slower because they're in a different class, but then they're off pace as Hines has to check up and almost spin it because of the 19 in the way, and he's going to slide it off course and go wide, trying to avoid the race leader. You saw him in the background there just for a moment off the pace. Everybody is able to hang on, but that's going to cost Hines. That's going to open this gap up by more than a second. So Chris Walsh, he gets to check out here for a little bit.
He does. We're seeing the lead prototype start to lap the back here of the GT field. And, of course, traffic on a track that is this narrow is going to be difficult now. The GTs and the prototypes, they race differently, of course. One is operating with more mechanical grip, the GT car. Of course, they have aerodynamic downforce, but they don't have nowhere near the level of the prototype cars, which are much more downforce dependent. So you're going to see those cars handle corners differently and handle offline situations differently, meaning that they can end up conflagrating in very unusual places where one class or the other might not feel quite as comfortable. That's where we tend to have problems. But this is multi-class racing. You learn to manage it, you race well. You don't learn to manage it, and you end up racing poorly. This is one of those things to always consider. It does always bring an element of danger once you end up in that field lapping phase, of course, Jacob, but we're seeing some pretty clean runs so far, apart from that bit of a moment. I had to jinx it, didn't I, and bring up clean racing right as we had a bit of a crash, but it could have been a lot worse in the grand scheme.
Yeah, overall, that could have been much worse. And I mean, it only took out 2 cars, and they were toward the back of the field anyway. So in the end, very little harm, very little foul. We already have a couple of cars that have been lapped by themselves here in this GT class, and more are going to be on the way shortly. And so look at this gaggle back here. This is, I think, 7th on back. So Poppenhaus, May, Parsons, Utzen. And then just a little while back, you got another train of a couple of GT cars. So these guys are really packed together tight. You can't say the same about the leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. The leaders are checking out, but this pack is a really exciting one here. We're seeing some great racing. As you mentioned, Poppenhouse leading that group there with John May behind him for position. Behind that, it's Parsons and Utzon, who are not for position. They are second and third in your... No, they're not. They are first and second in your open category right now. Mason Smotherman has dropped back in order now. He's going to be running in the 6th spot for the open drivers. And I believe at the moment we have the younger... No, Papa Knight is leading out the younger Knight right now, so that's a very important duel there. Is going to be one decided later on, of course. But was looking back from Adam Poppenhouse right now towards John May, heard of the Angry Marines Mercedes, and I think he's hungry for that podium spot.
Yeah, this is 3rd and 4th in class right now. As, whoa. What happened to the Mason Smotherman? Because remember, he was 3rd, and he just got lapped. So he must have made an oopsie somewhere along the way, because he's no longer up in that top 5. As now we're going to have a battle as Hines gets pushed wide by a GT. He comes back on the racetrack and pushes off Guillemette. Off goes P3 in the P2 class. Chaos up at the front with the LMP Trues trying to navigate the GTs. And once again, it pushes somebody wide. Here's the replay.
We've got the replay here showing what's going on. They're coming through the traffic, navigating now. Hines ahead there. Going to be Guillemette behind him as they run through on the outside. Runs out of road, gets forced wide. He rejoins. Can't really control it. Slides as he rejoins. And it's Hines being forced off the track there by the GT car. Hines gets forced wide. He kind of rejoins without really having the car under control because he has no choice there really on the straight. And just comes across, clips the car of Guillemette and puts us in that situation. That's an awkward one there because it wasn't really caused by Hines. It was just a chain reaction deal, I think.
Well, in the end, I think it worked out for Guillemette anyway, just because he was able to avoid most of that contact and just kind of get out of the way, knowing that he was about to get slammed. John May, by the way, he just got passed by Taylor Parsons. They got lapped. Now May is going to have Utzon sticking underneath. We've got trouble. A car without its hood. Connor Parisi, he's off track. He's off course. Okay,
Let's
maybe
find out
he
what
has
happened.
his hood. His hood's just black. I'm going crazy. But he got wide and got off course. That cost him a couple of spots. And now John May has lost a lot of time to the guys he was battling in Poppenhouse and Parsons.
Yeah, that's changed things, but of course, Parsons and Utzon are not in the same fight, of course. Those guys are running for the open class, so it won't affect his overall spot, and with issues there for Parisi, this could be still that podium shot for him, of course. The guy behind him, John Baker, is quite a distance behind time-wise, so I think he has an opportunity still to hold this if he can regain his time, but we're starting to see the real kind of mad half minute here on the racetrack. VIR is proving to be the undoing of some of these drivers. They are getting very much excited as there go Hines on the screen, passing all those GT cars on the straight before he gets to the roller coaster down here. And as you'll see, that's your open guys ahead. Oh, getting close there. Very, very close. Poppenhouse, Parsons, and Utzon in that grouping, trying to look for an opportunity. Behind them is May. He's still with the group, so he's still good right now. He's in position. Here comes Guillemette behind them. But John May might actually be looking at a podium as things go. We'll see as timing comes across the screen, of course, here. But it could be the opportunity if things have changed enough, which is possible. Yeah, we see Poppenhouse in second, and Parisi's ahead of May still, so Parisi is there. But if Parisi's had an issue, Jacob, this could be the blood in the water John May has been looking for.
Maybe we'll just have to wait and see. And Utzon's been coming over the radio. He's not happy with Hines just sending it on these GT cars, trying to catch back up. I know Hines isn't very happy with how he's been raced, and the GT drivers are kind of returning that in favor here as we are at the halfway point here in this race.
Yeah, we certainly are, of course. And, well, let's not forget that one of the other partners in this racing series is iRacing. Don't forget that they enable motorsports and gaming enthusiasts all around the world to race against one another online with more than 100 cars and 100 tracks available in over 350 different configurations. iRacing delivers the most realistic racing experience you can have on your PC or Mac from the comfort and convenience of your home. With literally thousands of official races every week, there is always someone to race against at iRacing. Start your iRacing career today at iRacing.com. Let's take a look at your field rundown here. At the prototype class level, what are we looking at here on the board? It's going to be Walsh leading the way with Hines in second, Guillemette in third, Campbell in fourth, and a lot further down the field is, of course, the last car in that grouping, Burkhalter. From your beneficiaries, it's Matt Smotherman, Adam Poppenhouse, Connor Parisi, John May, and further back, John Winker. The open category is going to be Taylor Parsons, Thomas Utzon, Jake Steinbrink, Bradley Beeman, who has, I believe, just retired, Tyler Reed, we have Jay Gleason, and we have the two Knights in the USO machines, with Tyler Beeman just in last place at the moment. But as we go through that, of course, Jacob, I believe you've got our beneficiary to talk about tonight from the beneficiary class, and that's going to be Adam Poppenhouse.
That's right, our beneficiary driver spotlight is Adam Poppenhouse for this week, the self-proclaimed fastest and best-looking member of the Resilience Racing Foundation. He attended the tank school at the School of Hard Knocks in Fort Knox, Kentucky, after joining the real Army in 2004. He was deployed with the 3rd Stryker Brigade to Iraq in 2006, receiving the Purple Heart for injuries that resulted in the amputations of both legs. During the subsequent 3-year hospital staycation, he found a love for wrenches and racing. He interned at the Dyno Tuning Facility and then competed in local NASA and time attack events before attending the Mid-Ohio School and eventually working for the Richard Petty Driving Experience after settling in Las Vegas. Most recently, he's had the honor of navigating the Mint 400 for the 2nd time. He enjoys throttle therapy of all sorts, husband to his smoking hot yoga teaching wife Megan, and proud father of 2 boys, Adam Jr., also known as AJ, 6 years old, and Senna, who is 3. He spent last year traveling the country in a motorhome as a family, seeing both oceans and the faces on the mountain. Becoming involved with Resilience Racing and Operation Motorsports has truly helped to reshape his post-separation life in a positive and exciting way. Being a part of this RRE team, smoking tire, burning fuel, the real stuff, and the virtual, that's his happy place. Our beneficiary driver spotlight, Adam Poppenhouse, for this week.
Always good to hear from those beneficiaries and hear about their stories, because, of course, it's these guys that Operation Motorsport is here to help. And even in the Operation Motorsport series, it is amazing to get to hear a bit of those stories, just a little bit of the backstory and the why and the who. This great organization is here to help. This is why we're all here, of course. And these people deserve every single moment of it. Right now on the track, things going as we previously mentioned. There's not been any position change, really. Positioning is still interesting, but I really want to focus on the difference between Mr. May and the car just ahead of him, which is still Connor Parisi. After that little moment he's had, the gap has widened slightly, but it's not gotten too big. It's still there, but it's going to be one of those interesting ones that will come down to the wire, I think, at this point, Jacob. He's gotten a bit further ahead, so there's a small gap now with the car between them, but May is I think, struggling a little bit on speed here. That Mercedes just doesn't quite have the hook.
Yeah, gotta wonder if maybe he burned his stuff up in the early part of this race and the tires are just screaming right now as we got one off behind them. That is Bradley Beeman. He was running in, ninth in their class, in the GT class, and he just got way too wide in the oak tree corner and got it off into the grass. Mowed it a little bit, but didn't hit anything. But John May, I kind of wonder if maybe he overdid it here in this first half of the race, and now the tires are just screaming. That allowed Utzon to get by, and Parisi's just pulling away right now.
Well, Parisi, we knew, had speed. He was running in second until his moment, so he's really recovering here. I think the opportunity should have existed a little bit earlier, but doesn't now. But as it stands, he's fighting those open class cars. We've got May just running a little bit further back from that, so we've got Utzon just between them. It's going to shake things a little bit for them, but there's still opportunity of mistakes can happen once as he goes off again.
Oh.
There you go. Oh, he's turning around up to the track. Oh, he holds it. That's exactly what I was going to mention. He's dropped that position now. Moved May up to third in beneficiary. If, as I just said, I swear the commentators, it's a real thing, guys, but we'll show the replay here. We literally talk about if he's made a mistake once, it can happen again. And he runs wide in turn 1. And the fistful of bourbon turned into a fistful of grass as that car went very, very wide there for a moment. And he's lost not just a track position there, but a lot of track position, because physically he's now much further back, and he has cars between him and the open class that are at the same speed that he'll have to now try and fight.
Right, he's got to get by Steinbrink here, with Smotherton right behind him, Mason Smotherton, that is. So it's not completely out of reach for Parisi, but he's got to be perfect here for the final 8.5 minutes that we've got left. If he makes another mistake like that, he can kiss his chances goodbye.
Yeah, he really can, and I think that is still going to be a long call here to try and get this back at this point, but this has got to be the big one for John May. He's got that opportunity now to hold this if he's been holding anything back. Now is the time to give it. Now is the time to absolutely kick this into high gear and storm that beach, get this car home where it belongs, bring home a podium this season, and get the Marines on the scoreboard. That is your goal, John May. Put the Marines on the scoreboard. We saw it last season. Let's see it again this season. Let's put them up there and see what can happen. But go, Mercedes, go. I have a soft spot in my heart for the Mercedes, of course, the GT3 field. They are my favourite car in class. Totally not biased at all. Get it going, John May. Let's see this. Bring it home in that 98 machine. We haven't talked about him really much all race at all, but Matt Smotherman is, I guess we should talk about him at some point as he is your race leader. But, Mr. Smotherman, let's once again checked out. He is gone. Just gone. He's 17-second clear, which is just ridiculous. That is insane, Jacob. Like, 17 seconds. Dude's gone.
Yeah, I mean, he is just gone. He's out of here. And, at this point, he's just got to keep the car on the racetrack. That's all he's got to do for the last 7 minutes. And, it looks good for him coming away with the win. There's no doubt about it. Just, he can't afford any contact, especially with an LMP2 who's going to be faster. But since he's been able to get so far ahead of everybody else, I think he's going to be fine in getting out of the way.
Let's just not talk about him for the rest of the race here, because I feel if we say anything, and you've already made 2 comments, but I feel if we comment on it any further, he will crash. We will curse this yet again for the 3rd time in a row tonight. We've not been on a good streak with the commentator's curse. Let's not take it to Matt Smotherman. So we'll look a little bit further back towards John May and the Conor Parisi battle, because that's one that's really going to be unfolding here. I want to see if Conor Parisi can get back there, but as much as I also want to see John May put some numbers on the board here, I think Conor Parisi is the faster car, but has he got time to get back there in 6 minutes now? Yeah, they're car to car on track. There's nothing between them here. So, Jacob, this could be something that happens. 6 minutes. It's a couple of laps here, but it could be done.
Gap's 3.5 seconds. It's possible. And last time by, May was a lot quicker. They're getting to the stripe here. So let's see. May that last time by was 2 seconds quicker than Parisi. I'm not a betting man, but if I was, as long as John May can keep it on the road, I think he's got the spot locked up.
You think he's taken this opportunity? Maybe he'd resigned himself to running behind Parisi before, but with Parisi's mishap, do you think John May has gone, oh, I have a chance of keeping this now. This is my best shot this season. Let's go.
That's the way it looks right now. We'll have to wait and see, but that's a big gap with just 5 minutes left. Parisi is going to need a huge mistake out of John May or lap traffic to really help him. Otherwise, John May is going to take that spot.
I think that could be what happens, but we will not jinx this much further. It's exciting, but that gap will be one we watch in the numbers. Parsons and Outzens just ahead of them. John May there are battling right now. Those two are your leaders in the open class. Parsons leads the way currently, and they're basically 1-to-1 here. We've got Poppenhaus just ahead of them, but Outzen and Parsons there in the Ferrari and the BMW battling it out for position. I think if John May can get behind them, he can use that draft, but these two, they're all over each other. Will we see Outzen make a move? He's been behind Parsons all race long so far. 4.5 minutes on the board. Has he been waiting for the end of this thing to try and make his move stick, or is he hoping to get up to Poppenhaus and use him as a pick?
I think it's possible that he's just trying to set him up here for this last little bit, because they're only going to get 2 more laps in this thing, maybe 3 more laps, depending on when the leader gets to the line. So, all the chips are going to be in the center of the table for these guys right here, especially battling for the win in the open class with Parsons and Outzen.
Yeah, that could definitely be what we see here in the open class. Conor Priest, last time by 151.3 for him. John May, a 149.4. That is a big speed difference. That's not what we've seen from before. All race long, Parisi was faster. Now, John May appears to be somehow quicker by 2 seconds. This is crazy racing now. And the idiosyncrasies of motorsports is that often inspiration can be the thing that makes you drive faster. Rather, you feel depressed, you feel like you're not going to get a chance, Jacob. You feel like they're just faster than you. You can't drive faster. But you get that opportunity to be in the right place at the right time, and all of a sudden, gifted an opportunity, you suddenly find that passion, that drive to just go that little bit faster. It's in there if you can tap into it.
Here's the overall leader in Walsh, trying to break up this party here with the open class battle for the lead. Walsh is going to get held up there for a moment by Parsons. Now down the straightaway, he's just going to pull out and get out of the way. I know Walsh isn't too happy that they didn't get out of the way that quick, but Walsh has got to keep in mind that these guys are also fighting for a race win. That actually helped Parsons pull away a little bit as we're inside 3 minutes to go.
We've had a retirement from Bradley Beeman, which means that both Bradley and Tyler Beeman are off the track, so we can now consider them beam off. But that's our 2 retirements for the day so far, while the car is still running at the moment. The USA cars from the open class are last in the open category, but that battle is between those two. That's not the whole field. That is just between those 2 cars. And right now, 1 is ahead of 2, which means Papa Knight needs to find a bit of speed. Otherwise, the young 'un might beat him. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. But Branning actually may have lost that position. We're just hearing from social media, Cameron Obanon, that we had Branning Knight had a bit of a whoopsie doodle. So we'll have to see what goes with that one. So we could have changed that running order for the moment. We'll have to see what happens with that later on. But right now, Smotherman's gap is ridiculous. Again, we'll not focus too heavily on that because, well, he's cheating somehow. I'm positive. That guy's too fast. There's no way. No. Honestly, no. Hats off to Matt Smotherman. This guy is stupid quick. And he has definitely brought a new goalpost, shall we say, to the beneficiary class here this season. The other drivers are all aspiring to try and beat, and he will have a massive target on his back as this season winds down and into next season, of course. But
Triple Pophouse is spinning. He lost it coming off a corner. He's spinning it all the way through. He's going to cut the corner big time. He's going to have to slow down a lot. And there they all go. That's going to open the door. Look back. Here comes May. May is now within striking distance to take over second place in the beneficiary class.
Look, here he goes. He goes to the outside as they're going to run down towards... He's going to still have cooldown time here. He can't have cut that much track and still be running. He's alongside him. John May to second place. Into the... Oh my god, here we go. 49 seconds on the board, so we will have another lap. This will be our last lap, the next one round, but... Oh my gosh, you saw it there. The biggest off track I've seen this season. Adam Poppenhouse just goes off and says, you know what, screw it, screw the tree. I'm just going to drive around here, this will be quicker. And rejoins the track a little bit later on. Loses so much time from the slowdown penalty there. John May, excuse me, I'll have that.
Poppenhouse,
right time.
He is on pit road. He is a black flag. He didn't give back all the time. So iRacing gives him a black flag. He has to do a stop and go penalty. That throws away all the points.
Jacob, I don't think it's just that. I think that's too much track to even get a cooldown on. I was like,
well, he did not. He didn't have the black flag initially. So I think he did get a cooldown and didn't give it all back.
Yeah,
unless I missed it the first time.
Huge straight on this track, the biggest straight, if anything, and he lost all of that, so he is just out of the running here, which does move Parisi back up into third, but John May, stop the press, is in second place. Wow.
Last lap.
This is crazy. This has definitely changed everything. We are in last lap territory here right now. Chris Walsh, your race leader, has been battling with Mr. Ketchup, Hines, who has struggled, in fact, to catch up as many beans as he tried to put into this one. Apparently he couldn't find a way to put on the mustard as he got around the racetrack here, and I'm sick of this now. That is too many Heinz puns. Wow, I feel bad for doing that. It was funny once, it was not funny 3 times. Chris Walsh is in a good, clean lead here. He's running towards his last lap of this one. This will be his last lap, I believe, now, just clocking down for him. So we'll have that time checked in there. The 104 machine We'll get this one last run around the track. Our GT cars as well will have that opportunity, but this is going to be the last closing moments for this one.
How about the battle for lead in the open class? Ootson is on the back door of Parsons, coming down the straightaway to the checkered flag, blocking down the straightaway. Parsons is going to win it by a car length. What a battle coming down the stretch.
Oh, yeah, completely is. Did we actually hit the 0 point on this one? Is that our race over? Did we get the flag?
It should be.
Yeah, we got that. Yeah, so confirmation there. That was our checkered flag there. I thought we had a white flag just at the last moment there, but that was it. Checkered flag is out. That's our finishing order there. I did look weird that Walsh was going for the lap. Maybe he just really enjoys it here at VIR. But our running order we'll get for you on screen in just a second's time. We'll be right back after this, and we'll have the race results, and we'll have your driver interviews. So stay with us. We'll see you in a moment. Welcome back, folks, to the post-race here for the Operation E Motorsport race at Virginia International Raceway. And we have our post-race results. Chris Walsh wins the prototype class, the pro class there, with Dave Hines in second, Tyler Guillemette in third, Rodney Campbell in fourth, and fifth place, Dustin Burkhalter. Winning the beneficiary class is Matt Smotherman, with, in second place, John May, Connor Parisi in the third spot for them, with Taylor Parsons and Thomas Utzon in first and second for your open class. Third in open, Mason Smotherman. And then we have fourth for the that class, Jake Steinbrink. Fourth for the beneficiaries, John Winker. The rest of the opens there with Jay Gleason, Tyler Reed, Brandon Knight, Adam Poppenhouse, Bradley Beeman, and Tyler Beeman. Well, folks, it is going to be interview time for us right now, so it is time to talk. If we have him, we do. We have Matt Smotherman here, the Speedy Gonzalez of the Operation E Motorsport series, the man that cannot be slowed down, the guy that totally has to have J2 rockets strapped to the back of his car. I'd ask you this question, but I'm assuming VIR is a track you like.
I do like VIR. I like VIR when VIR likes me. Like when I'm not out there mowing the grass. When I'm not mowing the grass, I love it.
You seem to have nailed the not mowing the grass bit today. Is that a secret to a 17+ second victory?
That is the secret, not mowing the grass, I think. At least that's my secret.
Fantastic way to get around this place. Staying on the black stuff, always useful.
Yes.
But it seemed like traffic was a real contentious one today from the prototypes. Was that something that was your most nervous moment?
Oh, absolutely. I was really, really getting nervous. Fortunately for me, at least, I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, the timing seemed to work out okay. I know that in practice, one of the few times that I had an interaction with an LMP passed me like high speed at the end of the S's, and I nearly went off the track, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be a rough evening, but thankfully that didn't happen. But yeah, those are the tensest moments for sure.
It certainly seems that way, of course. And wow, that was a very, 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 very fast race. We didn't get to cover you much, of course, on screen because other than driving fast, you weren't doing a lot. It was just, like,
Right.
just driving, just drive. I think
Ideal
you've probably been the
scenario.
one- yeah, you've been the one consistent winner we've had in this series that hasn't really been focused on much because you just check out and cleared off. Every single race, it's just gone. He's off. You're out of here. But anybody you'd like to give a shout out to or thank for this amazing car?
No, shout out to you guys and also the entire Operation Motorsport crew, because without you guys, this wouldn't be such a great production, such a great fun time with the entire community and everything. So this is great. So thank you guys.
Well, we appreciate that, and I think this is a team effort from everybody, I think, to make this whole thing go. And from you, the drivers, all the volunteers at Operation Motorsport, everyone that donates their time to put this thing together and make it what it is. It's the whole community spirit. Thank you very much for joining us, Matt Smotherman. We will catch you hopefully next time. Who am I kidding? We'll
thank
probably
you.
talk to you next time.
Thank you.
See you then.
All right.
Next up, we have John May with Jacob Heinz.
Well, that was adventurous, at least for you, John. Second place finish. Of course, you weren't always in second place, but you were able to get there when it mattered the most.
Yeah, that was, I tell you, I hope the battle on camera was as good as it was racing, because that was an amazing 30 minutes of just pure intensity.
How about from your driver's seat there? You were able to slide up into that second position after there was some, well, Poppenhaus just kind of lost it off course. What did you see from your point of view?
To be honest with you, I couldn't see anything but Thomas's rear bumper as close as we were. I just, I saw a car go around the corner, and I thought, okay, well, there's one more spot, and I just let those two in front of me battle since they were battling for points.
Nonetheless, and I know Rachel has a comment because you're in a Mercedes and, well, second place. A good run tonight. Looking forward to next week.
Yeah, I am. I had to bring the Merc back out. I hope Rachel was happy about that, and
Yep.
we'll look forward to. Hey, I put a point back on the board, and I'm glad to do it.
You absolutely did. Look, he brings the Mercedes back, and the Marines finally hit the beach. This is tied together, I swear.
I tell you, I guess I'm just going to have to stick in the old girl.
I think you might have to, but that is 2 points on the board for the Marines, which moves you ahead of the Navy. So the important thing is done.
That's right. I'll continue letting them drive us around, and I'll sit back and relax.
Yeah, you have to just go for the Air Force next, because they're still ahead of you by 5 points, so you're going to have to pick it up here, bud, okay?
We'll work on that. Still got 2 more races to go.
You do indeed. Well, hopefully we'll get some of those great results again from you in the next 2 races. Of course, Watkins Glen coming up next. Is that a track you like?
Oh, I love Watkins Glen, especially with the repave. It is so smooth.
Well, we can't wait to see what you'll do there. And that Mercedes has some great straight line speed, which will be fantastic at Watkins Glen. So we'll look forward to seeing that. John May, thank you for joining us, and we will talk to you hopefully next week.
All right. Y'all have a good one, and thank you again.
Thank you to John. And finally, we have Connor Parisi here. The man from the Air Force is back here in 3rd place. It looked like it was a stronger result today, but that got real busy real fast. What happened?
Lack of preparation, lack of skill, lack of competence. I fell off the track twice all by myself, so no excuses tonight.
Yeah, I think you had a few more, rather than fistful of bourbon, you seem to have fistful of grass for most of this thing. Is it just the nature of this track here at VIR? It is a very, I've driven myself around this place. This is a narrow, twisty, unforgiving track, and there's no runoff to really give you that benefit. Is it just that it's so different to the other tracks on the schedule?
Yeah, it certainly doesn't help. It's very tight, as you said, so really no room for error. And then, yeah, the grass just goes on forever and forever, so you're stuck out there for, it seems like, eternity.
It does indeed. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to or thank?
I gotta thank the whole crew at Jim Beaver Esports. Thank you guys for putting on the show and Operation Motorsports for putting it together.
Oh, fantastic. Connor Parisi coming home today in 3rd place, putting some more points on the board for the Air Force. So thank you for joining us, Connor. We will see you next time.
Thanks, have a good one.
Well, with that, we have to look at our total points for the Inter-Service Championship. It is still Army out front on 20 points because no one can catch Matt Smotherman. Someone's going to have to at some point. 2nd place is the Air Force, the US Air Force representing this time on 7. The Marines on the board finally with 2 points ahead of the US Navy's 1 point. So the life ring is finally out of the water there. Marines are on the beach and they're back to taxi duties for them. The Coast Guard still have 20 points due to having really nice livery that someone put on their car, so we'll give them that. And the Space Force did not get deducted any more points this week because they didn't really do anything stupid, so they're still on minus 100. Moving on, let's go to our final thank yous, of course. I want to thank Recaro. Whether it's on track or iRacing, Recaro Automotive is all about making the driving safer, more comfortable, and more controlled. A driving experience that you can really feel. Recaro Automotive puts people first every time. An ergonomic sitting position means a comfortable position, and with perfect seat contours and innovative features that support your body, Recaro Automotive makes driving fun. Be it on the road or the racetrack, Recaro Automotive performance seats are more than just a set of components. They exude innovation, quality, premium materials, craftsmanship, and a genuine passion for cars. For more information, visit their website at www.recaro-automotive.com. Recaro Automotive is proud to support Operation eMotorsports iRacing.
Of course, Operation Motorsport, veteran-led and operated, a 501c3 non-for-profit based in Brighton, Ontario and Raleigh, North Carolina, serving Canadian and American service members and veterans, and was founded on the basis of 3 simple words: excite, engage, and empower. The premise is to engage ill and injured service members and veterans affected by military service through motorsport activities to aid in their recovery and rehabilitation. To find out more information, please visit operationmotorsport.org.
Well, for Jason Leach, Diesel Loader, Chris Ramirez and the entire Operation Motorsport team, for Ryan Bauer, James Pike, Cisco Scaramuza and John Theodore at Podium Esports, and for our producer Gary Sexton, camera builder Dougie Beard, Cameron Obernon on social media, and for my colleague this evening, Jacob Hitz, I'm Rachel Wyford. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast of the Operation eMotorsport iRacing Winter League, powered by Recaro. We hope to see you live next Tuesday from iRacing's virtual Watkins Glen International. Good night.